Okay, hear me out. Stardew Valley, but it's harder and the project will be obnoxiously long. Yeah, this sounds like the sort of series I'd like to make. Here's the plan, playing 100 days of Stardew, but it's on hard mode. Here's my settings and self-imposed rules for this challenge because pain. The beach farm is tough with so much space where sprinklers won't work, but the 25% profit margin setting will probably make a mess of the strats I'm used to. My personal goals for this include completing the community center, Joja, make it as far with my perfection score as I can, and end up with a nice looking farm. I'll cover more advanced strats, even some useful tips for casual play, but I'd be lying if I didn't say a bunch of what I've planned is a bit insane. For example, I've already spent 22 hours in game and I'm only on day 16. Let's exclude the months I spent building a dashboard tracker for nearly every data point in this save file for now. This is the kind of series I've always wanted to make, so welcome to episode 1 of 100 days of Stardew Valley hard mode. Okay, we're gonna start just doing some clay farming on the farm.
But Brandigan, what is clay farming?
Basically, let's not listen to my technical explanation of clay farming because it's a bit of a sweaty strategy that involves knowing where clay will be, following the L-shaped pattern while digging, and selling hundreds of clay at the carpenter or shipping bin. When done correctly, you can easily make over 10,000 gold a day early on. That's great, but I really wouldn't recommend this to anyone unless you are diving into the world of Stardew min-maxing. I have a video on the map predictor tool we use to track this below if you're interested. Yes, the pattern can be figured out and tracked without it, but the predictor saves a ton of time. Like I said, this is far from a normal playthrough. And then what I did for this save, when you put a seed in, the number of spring onions that you get is going to be random. It could be 0 to I've seen as much as like 36 or something. So I kept resetting until I had a good amount of spring onions. We're not going to be able to buy our way through the energy, right? So the idea here is to collect as much energy as we can. After creating a bunch of save files until I had one with a good amount of spring onions, I was ready to get started. I headed south on the beach because there's this like large patch with a bunch of stumps. They're kind of in the way, but it's actually a pretty good and open spot for clay farming. So basically, I did the thing until I was almost out of energy.
Not bad, not bad.
Next up was to head down south and collect those spring onions. Because there's a lot of hoeable dirt down here, I figured I could just start my clay farming up again here. I kind of made a mess of the place until I didn't have any more space, and then headed back up near Marnie's ranch where I could do the same thing over and over again.
Okay, make our way back up.
It was starting to get late, so I headed into town to see if there was anything I could yoink from the villagers. We'll run into town, take a screenshot, and see what kind of forageables we have. I found a field snack in Lewis's trash, and that's great because energy is just a huge factor on these early days. Oh, yes! We got a leak here. Oh, 2 leaks. Bruh. Well, we can craft the chest. Once I was on the farm, I finished up that last bit of clay farming there, and then planted my parsnip seeds in this absolutely chaotic setup. Yeah, it looks terrible, but I'm literally out of energy. I can't do anything else right now. I also planted a mixed seed that I found, which was a huge mistake because that put me over the 15 limit crop on crows appearing. If I only had the 15 parsnips in the ground, I would have no problems, but because of that mixed seed, I will now get crows. I finished the day by nearly getting defeated by bats that spawned on my farm, and that's just because I don't have a weapon. It was ridiculous, and eventually I gave up. Because of the 25% profit margins, all of that clay was worth a whopping 1,180 gold, but at least I got level 1 foraging. Okay, day 2. Now we need 2,100 gold. We're gonna get that fishing. Early days are just so important, and I'd hate to just not accept a good run.
I grabbed enough wood to bring another chest with me before heading off to the ocean. Just don't forget to read your mail so you make sure you get the fishing rod from Willy. And something you need to know is I've chosen a particular seed for this save file because it has bubbles at 3 different locations at the ocean on this day, and this will speed up fishing by a mile.
Only 4 fish, even if they're perfect, you're not getting level 1. It's not. Oh. I stand corrected. I thought, even with good fish, you would need maybe 5 fish for level 1. But no, we still have these bubbles and there's the level 1 fishing.
I need some money for seeds, and I also opted for a backpack upgrade instead of the fiberglass rod at level 2. With these 25% profit margins, I feel like I can get more use out of that when I'm in the mines in a few days.
Okay, let's do that. I'll come back for the chest. Bubbles are about to start, I believe, at 120. So let's see what we're working with. 1681 to 2027. I don't need that extra gold, so I'm ready to go now.
I got enough gold by selling early morning fish to Willie and then headed to Pierre's for the backpack and seeds.
Let's get the backpack, just period. Okay, boom. I could do a cauliflower and a potato, but I could get those out of mixed seeds later. I can't get a bean starter out of a mixed seed, so I'm gonna go ahead and buy that. You know what? I'm just getting down as close to 0 as I can.
Back at the ocean, my next bubbles aren't in the best spot because they're close to the pier, but they go on for a while. I could have passed out here, but I had a couple more chores back at the farm.
2 hours to spare. We need to get the hoe, get the copper that's at the bus stop that we already know about, and water the parsnips.
Specifically, I knew that there was some copper ore in artifact spots at the bus stop, and getting that ore means that I'll get the furnace recipe tomorrow morning. The last thing to do is to water my mess of parsnips, and I'm off to bed.
So there we go. Now we have an idea of everything that's in our inventory. Oh, hey, Finny. Come here. Say what? Come here. Come here. Oh, lovely. This is Finley, if you haven't met him before. Hello, sir. Thank you. Come on, come here. Give me a high five. Yeah, that's a good boy. Want to spin? Yeah.
Don't let the cute face fool you. He can definitely be a handful at times. But now we're moving on to day 3. And I decided to do a little bit of variety with this one.
Here is the cutscene from Clint. That's why the copper ore was important, because the first time you get copper ore, the next morning, Clint will come and he will give you the blueprint to craft a furnace.
I'm using the map predictor by Blade to gather some resources around the farm. I have a video on that if you don't know what I'm talking about, but it's a really interesting tool that I love to utilize whenever I can.
So you'll see on screen, if I cut this down, I'll get a single acorn in return. However, if I cut any of these down with the 2, I'll get 2 in return. Additionally, you can get acorns from shaking. And then the last part, we need the stones. So if you can see on here, we got coal in these little spots, and then we have geodes. I don't mind coming up here to forage just because I would like to get my foraging skill up.
I went ahead and did some foraging on my way up to Robin's because I wanted to show off a nice little trick if you haven't seen it before.
You can move your shipping bin, right? Well, this was also, all of this is still from the clay farming that I originally did. And I don't have any bigger buildings to get rid of this, but in case I do want to clay farm before I go fishing, I can go ahead and use this as like a little lawnmower. So that's a geode. I don't want to waste energy right now. Oops. And he says as I don't want to waste energy right now, and I immediately swing twice and miss. So
back on the farm, I collected some more resources because I have some time to kill before there's fishing bubbles down in the forest. Usually I'd be like fishing for catfish all day, so I kind of like this change of pace. And I was also able to grab an eel for the community center bundle, and that's something I've never really done on this day, so bonus points.
That's the plus of having the beach farm. One of the very few pluses. Supply crates are great, I assume, but I am a couple hours late, which is unfortunate. But that's all right. We have the eel.
The rest of my evening was just spent doing more fishing. The fish really don't sell for much, so I will probably end up just using these as energy in the mines.
Okay. GG's. Oh, level 2 foraging too. I should have known that because we did cut down a lot of trees. We are gonna be using the Fisher perk, even though I probably won't sell many fish. Okay, let's take a look at day 4. We have Pyramid Luck, 0.035. That's not bad. 89 fish caught so far, and we have 16 parsnips in the ground.
Day 4 is an interesting one. It's more of the same where I'm collecting some things around the farm and doing more fishing, but I'm very aware that I'm going to pass out tonight at 2 a.m. and I need to level up something. I feel like fishing is my best shot at this point, and I looked around the map. The only good bubbles I could find were over by the tide pools. Usually I don't repair that bridge for 300 wood to get over there so early. It doesn't make a lot of sense unless, you know, you're trying to increase your foraging, but I decided to try something new.
Okay, I'm gonna use these fish to get back up to some okay energy. I think that's my best bet right now.
Clay farming wouldn't make a lot of sense because I'm trying to stack up as much energy as possible when I'm going to the mines tomorrow. I could check for some spring onions, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I would just head over to the tide pool once I had 300 wood, repair the bridge, and fish the bubble locations I saw there on the map predictor.
What's up, Evelyn? You're about to hate me because I'm going to dig through this trash. And there's the fried mushroom. Okay, sweet. That's huge. That's 135 energy. Fishing bubbles is so good. This will also give me extra foraging because I get all of the sea urchins and coral that are over on the other side.
Several minutes of fishing later, and I was starting to lose focus.
Flounder. It's a smoother sinking motion, I think. You know what? They have the same motion. I'm convinced. Every time I say halibut, it's a flounder. Every time I say flounder, it's a halibut.
As the night came to a close, I had over 30 fish and even a diamond from a treasure chest.
Okay, there it is. Level 6 fishing. We overexerted ourselves on the very last cast, but luckily, like, we don't get the penalty. It doesn't matter because of the level 6 fishing. Whenever you level up, you get full energy the next day. All right, day 5 onto the mines. Plenty of fishing experience. We actually almost made it to level 3 foraging with all that chopping. That's pretty dope. Not a good luck day, which really sucks. Yeah, it's going to make the mines harder, but I do want to try a little min-max strat knowing where staircases are, so I don't think it's going to be too bad.
And on that day, Brandigan was wrong again.
I'm going to be using the map predictor. The cool thing about that is it maps out ladders for you. So basically what you're seeing on screen is that if there's a ladder there and there's a stone on top of that, as long as you have it set properly, right? No monsters versus monsters, you'll be able to map out your ladders. I've never done it before, so I figured I would give it a try. All right, well, we're definitely getting the cat. Bruce Taco, because that's my cat's name. I'm also leaving the stumps because stumps act just like regular trees. So within 3 tiles, they will have every night a 15% chance of dropping a seed. Okay, I have everything I need. Let's craft the chest. And then the last thing, there's a supply crate. Actually, it kind of sucks. I've wasted an hour in game, but that gives me 5 cherry bombs, which is going to be huge. Okay. Straight to the mountain. It is, if you don't know, it's faster to always go north from your farm than to go through the bus stop and through town.
So I was off to try my hand at ladder mapping. I get why you don't see this often. A lot of people don't even know about the map predictor, but then even if you do know, ladder mapping seems a little too powerful. Regardless, this is a bit of a learning experience for me too, so I wanted to check it out.
If the map predictor is correct, which Blade is a god, it should be. That's a ladder, and yes, it is.
Unfortunately, if you know how this works, you'll see that a couple things need to go right for it to be very good. Good luck is a start because that'll give you a better chance for ladders in general, but it's also not very helpful for infested floors, which you'll see I run into down the line. Also, there's those times where a ladder is just not available until you've broken more rocks on the floor.
Yeah, this isn't great. Let's just see if there's a freebie. And I think there is. We don't have to go all the way down. Yup.
It turns out, for me at least, this strategy is kind of tough to get the hang of very quickly. I do make some big mistakes by not really understanding how to best utilize this tool, but I guess I could say my first day with ladder mapping was a bit painful. It never felt quite right, especially when I was guesstimating where the ladder should be instead of overlaying a screenshot onto the predictor tool. And I found myself just pausing way too much. It doesn't make for good footage, and it didn't really make for a good time either.
I'll try and kill the slime. Just, you know, free ladder's a free ladder. Heck yeah. 730 and I made it 20 levels. You definitely want a lot better than this. Ooh, that is another damn dagger. This is trash. This is absolute trash.
It doesn't help at all that I played this day months ago. If you're watching the days that I've covered in this video so far, you'll notice that maybe my room looks different over time or my hair grows out significantly longer. That's because I actually started this project over 9 months ago. And as I'm recording my thoughts now after the fact, the Stardew Valley Cup has already gone and passed. We won it all,
and that's great, but I also learned how to do animation canceling a lot better, and I can't help but feel that me being good at animation canceling would have given me a much better outcome on this day 5. No matter how long it takes, this is one of those projects that I want to see through to the end, so yes, it's taking me forever to put together, yes, it's taking me forever to edit and voiceover, but I think it's going to be worth it. So when it's all said and done, I got down to level 25 in the mines, and I was a bit disappointed with that. But you know what? For me, this project is about trying new things and hopefully showing you all some of the cool things that are being done in the Stardew min-max community. I do like to cover a lot of things that even the most casual player or new player could pick up in Stardew, but then there's these other things that, I've been playing the game for a long time and I just want to explore more. And that wraps up episode 1. Subscribe if you want to keep up with this project, and I'll catch up with you soon, whether it's here or when I'm streaming on Twitch.